Welcome to the studio at That Nerd Show. I am Marcus Blake, and we are doing virtual interviews today from the Naples Film Festival. And we're about to interview. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and we're going to talk about their film. The director, go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience.
Okay, David Gutnik, co-writer and director.
All right. Yeah. And you, ma'am?
I'm Assol Abdullina. I am an actor and co-writer.
All right, and we are talking about the film Materna, and am I pronouncing that correct?
Materna.
Materna, okay. Wanted to make sure we get that correct and everything.
I thought you said Macarena, like the song.
All right, let's not have a 90s flashback here.
That's the alternate title.
All right. We just want to let our audience know, no, there will be no dancing. Anyway, a very interesting film.
Thank you.
So I want to dive right into it. My first impression of it was I feel like this is a film that's perfect for, where our culture, our time, things that are going on in the world. How did this, as a co-writer, what was the basis or the inspiration for this film? David?
Well, it's interesting to hear you say that it felt timely because, when we set out to make the film, we weren't really thinking about the times. We were, I should say I was at a sort of low point in my life. I was probably at my most vulnerable, and I was looking to confront what I was going through in my work. And I was lucky that I had a few people around me who wanted to do the same, Assol and the other co-writer, Jay Ishett. And it really started, that's how it started. It started as sort of intimate conversations between us about some of our most personal family stories. And we took those stories and those conversations and turn them into a collaborative script.
Okay.
And the further we dove into the process, the more we found we were bumping up against some real political issues, some real sort of social, cultural stuff. But we didn't set out to do that. It started personal, and it just so happened that the personal was political and vice versa.
When did you start writing this?
About 2 years ago.
Okay. It's interesting that you talk about that because I feel like the last 4 years have just been so heavy politically and culturally. Yeah, it's like, you can't help but write a story sometimes and get wrapped up in all that.
Right.
So, your experience with this film, how did you come to this project?
Yes, similarly to David, I was kind of in the process of grieving, and I wanted some healing. And, like nobody really wants to deal with death. Nobody wants to listen to your experience dealing with death. And for some reason, when I met David, he was eager, he was eager to listen to me telling my story over and over. So I think that kind of personal connection gave kind of spark to the beginning of the process of writing and making the movie.
Death is such an interesting thing to write about. Some people try to be comedic about it. Some are, it's obviously heartbreaking. What do you feel like is the biggest lesson you learn, from death? And I'll start with you, David.
Wow, I haven't really considered that, but my first impulse was to say, just try and cherish the here and now, be present with the people around you, with the people you're closest with, but also, the stranger on the street. Just try and be there.
Same question to you, Assol.
That's that's an incredible question.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to get a little deep here on our show.
I like it. I like it. I mean, the film does the same thing. So thank you.
Yeah, I think, well, I'll be like nerdy. And I may sound crazy, but I went deep into all the like theories of parallel universes and time travel and the infinite possibilities of our existence. Like I went into that rabbit hole.
Wow. It sounds like to me you were watching Star Trek, but that's just a nerd perspective, you know. What I find interesting about stories, when you bring a bunch of characters together that are very different, the more they get to know each other, the more they realize that the more they have in common, the more they are the same, despite race, gender, politics, religion, all of that. Was that something that you were trying to go for, or something that you kind of experienced in writing this movie, David?
I'm sorry, I missed the question. I was distracted by the screen behind you. But can you just repeat that?
A lot of stories when you have characters from different religions, politics, gender, race, and all that, the more they come together, the more they find out that they are very similar. That they're not that different. Was that something that you were trying to deliberately go for?
I would say yes and no. More no than yes. Again, my working with Assol and Jade was, again, we didn't set out with an agenda. It was sort of more incidental that we happened to be of different races and backgrounds. But I think one of the ambitions of the film wasn't to try and whitewash difference. Was to try and recognize the very real different worlds that these people come from, and to tell the stories of those characters from their perspectives within those worlds as faithfully as possible. It just so happened that there are some unifying aspects of our experience that the film also honors, and there is a unifying thread in the film, a basic human struggle that unites the characters, but the film also doesn't try to erase the differences between them.
Right. Now, we don't want to give any spoilers or anything like that. We want people to experience this film. But is there, and it's the same question to both of you, was there one scene within this film that you felt like was more powerful than anything else?
You mean in making it, or in the result?
Well, no, just any scene in particular that you felt was the most powerful for you in this film.
I don't know that I would. I mean, I would say that one of the most challenging, as far as result, to me, they're all, they're all like our babies. It's like hard to pick which one you like, is which one's prettier, which one's better. But I would say one of the most challenging scenes. I mean, they're all challenging in different ways. Some challenges are logistical, and some are emotional. You have to go so deep that it's that it really stays with you. I knew that was Golden Axe. Okay, but
yeah, sorry, we generally have stuff going on in the background. Sorry.
Yeah. So, but I would say the train was one that was especially challenging. We brought 40 extras onto a New York City subway. They stayed with us. We shot overnight, and we shot some scary stuff on that train, and and we did it we did it the old-fashioned way, you know, the indie, you know, shoestring budget, steal it way. So that was tough. That was tough.
One quick nerdy question for you that we like to ask all of our guests.
Yeah.
If you could have a superpower to fight the forces of evil, what would you choose personally? And I'm going to start with Assol.
Oh yes, I'd love to have the superpower of time travel. I'd love to travel in time.
There's just so much that you can do with that. David, how about you?
I think it would be maybe to be invisible.
Another good one where you can get a lot done.
Yeah. I've always wanted to be invisible. Like as a kid, like I was like, if only I could, or stop time and make adjustments.
Nice. Both great answers. Hello there, fellow nerds. I'm Marcus Blake, the editor and producer of That Nerd Show, and we need your help. That's right, we need your support. Like any news outlet, we rely on advertising and donations to keep the lights on. To be the greatest show in this universe, we need funding, and that's where you come in. Like most artists out there, we actually have a Patreon account, and we're asking for donations. But we're not just asking for you to give us money, we actually have stuff that we're going to be giving away if you donate. So we'll be uploading more and more videos to our Patreon account from YouTube, from our daily news to interviews with celebrities to gaming videos and all of our other individual shows that we are doing here in 2020. But to keep us going, we need a little bit of funding. And again, that's where you come in. So it can be as little as $1. $1 makes all the difference in the world. And you can do anywhere from $1 to $3 to $5, all the way up to $500. And we're going to be giving stuff away for your donations. So you can get some Nerd Power wristbands or any other wristbands from our series of wristbands that we're creating for nerds. You can get cool retro gaming t-shirts from our Nerd Swag shop if you make a donation of $20 or more. You can even get advertising on our website or within our videos if you make a purchase or donate $50 or more dollars. We have different tiers, like most artists. Want that new video game that's coming out this year? You want to be playing the same video game we are as we're reviewing it? Hey, you can do that with a $100 donation. Are you looking to get a new console before the year is out? Hey, $500 and you can get an Xbox One, a PlayStation 4, or even a Nintendo Switch. It just takes a little bit to help us. As little as $1 per video that we do. And we're going to have a variety of videos that you can help support. So if you like our content, if you like everything that we do as nerds, from honest conversations about pop culture to great celebrity interviews to wacky and fun gaming videos, then help support us on our Patreon account. You can check us out at patreon.com/thatnerdshow. You can check us out at patreon.com/that. Take 3. Go to patreon.com/thatnerdshow and make your donation today. Even if it's just $1, we would greatly appreciate it. Thank you and stay nerdy.